Good morning to one and all. Today, me and my friends will be sharing a presentation on the chapter The Portrait of a Lady by Kushwant Singh. Kushwant Singh was born on 2nd of February 1915 in Hadali, Kusab district of Punjab province, which is situated in modern day Pakistan. His birth name was given by his grandmother, which was Kushal Singh. Singh died of natural causes on 20th March 2014 at the age of 99. His death was mourned by many, including the President, Vice President, and Prime Minister of India. As a writer, he was best known for his transient secularism, humor, sarcasm, and abiding love of poetry. He joined as Indian Government General He joined an Indian government general in 1951 to 1953 called the Illustrated Weekly of India. He founded and edited Yojana. He was also appointed as editor of Hindustan Times on Indira Gandhi's personal recommendation. He was one of the people who experienced the harsh and violent partition of 1947. He wrote an iconic book on it named The Train to Pakistan in 1956. This was his most well-known novel and drew attention of movie producers who made a film on it. His some his some famous books are The History of Six, 1953, Tragedy of Punjab, Kushwantnama, The Lessons of My Life, and so on. He started going to a temple school in village and later went to Delhi Modern School in 1920, where he studied till 1930. Then he went to St. Stephen's College in Delhi during 1930 to 1932 and later received his graduation degree from Government College, Lahore in 1932. He was awarded LLB from University of London in 1938. He joined his some lifetime achievements are he joined the Indian Foreign Service upon India's independence. Kushwant Singh was also awarded Padma Bhushan and Punjab Ratan Award. He was appointed journalist in All India Radio in 1951, then worked for Department of Mass Communication of UNESCO at Paris in 1956. In 2016, Kushwant Singh was entered in Limca Books of World Record as a tribute. Between 1980 to 1986, he served as Member of Parliament in Rajya Sabha.
The narrative explores the affection, love, connection, bonding, kindness, and respect involving the author and his grandmother. The narrator recounts his reminiscence with her in first person. Gradually, the story takes various turns, indicating distant state of affairs for both the characters, exhibiting how they end up getting on different pages due to no common grounds among them. In spite of the barriers that were erected, the author still constantly ruminates about her. He gives an account of the sort of attachment and interdependence of the germinating characters influence each other.
Just like every grandmother, the author's grandmother was an old lady. She had a wrinkled face with a short, fat, and slightly bent physique. With her white hair and white clothes, she was like a winter landscape in the mountains, a picture of beauty and peace. She was devout and was always seen holding her rosary. Being from older generation, she was traditional and was disappointed by the fact that there was no teaching of God and the scriptures at the English school. She was conservative and thought that music was the monopoly of harlots and beggars. She was reserved and rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. Feeding the village dogs and sparrows daily, she was kind, generous, and caring lady. A highly instinctive lady, she knew when her end was near. She was patient with strong willpower.
Shreya, please mute your mic.
Yes, please continue.
and the other children the game she used to play as a child, which they found quite absurd and treated it like the fables of prophets she used to tell them. She would wake up the author and get him ready for school. Grandma even went to his school with him, and when he received his lesson, she sat in the adjoining temple to read the scriptures.
The second phase started when both were sent for by the author's parents to live with them in the city. That was a turning point in their friendship. Though she and Khushwant Singh shared the same room, the distance between them grew more and more as years passed by. She was upset that she could not help him with his studies nor accompany him to the school as he started going to an English medium school in a motor bus, where he studied things that were all Greek to her. She strongly disapproved of the subjects taught in the city school and bemoaned the lack of teaching about God and scriptures. The third phase began when the author joined university and was given a separate room. This broke the last common link between them and left the grandmother totally secluded and isolated. Now she spent the whole day on her spinning wheel reciting prayers and rarely talked to anyone. Late slide पीछे करते आ रहा हूँ is the next. Yeah. Later on, when he went abroad for further studies, she was upset but did not say anything and came to see of the author and was also there when he returned. That evening, she collected the women of the neighborhood and started beating the drum, singing, dancing for several hours, and celebrated the homecoming of his grandson. Next day, she fell ill and got a mild fever. She knew her end was near, so decided to pray and not to waste time talking to anyone. Grandma kept on praying on deathbed and eased her passage to the other world.
The writer recalls his grandmother as short, healthy, and slightly bent. Her hair was silver in color and was scattered messily on her wrinkled face. The writer thinks of her as not very pretty, but her ambience constantly beautiful all the time. He compares her calm face with the winter landscape. His grandmother would give chapatis to the village dogs at the temple door after picking him up from school. Later, the writer went to the city school on a school bus and where they taught subjects like English, physics, mathematics, which she couldn't really assist him with. His grandmother could no longer go to school with him in order to drop him off. She felt upset that there was no teaching about God and scriptures at the city school. When the writer went to a university, he got a separate room in his house. The common link of relationship between the grandson and the grandmother broke. She started feeding the sparrows in the afternoon.
When the writer left his house for further studies, she came to see him off at the railway platform. To the author, it seemed he would probably never meet her again, and he cherished the moist imprint of the kiss his grandmother gave him, as perhaps the last sign of physical contact between them. But when he came back home after a period of 5 years, his grandmother was there to receive him at the station. The next morning, after the return of her grandson, she got ill due to overexerting herself. Although the doctor told that it was a slight fever and would go away very soon, she could still foresee that it was the time for her to bid farewell to the world. She went to her bed, praying and telling the beads till her lips stopped moving and rosary fell down from her lifeless hand. To grieve her death, sparrows flew in and sat dispersed around her body. Ma'am, the slide, our presentation ends here. And also, ma'am, sources of our context are from the chapter 1, Portrait of Lady, and Wikipedia for the information about the author. And ma'am, also the picture credit goes to Ishwarya as most of the pictures